two respected voices. Same subject. Completely different conclusion. One says 5W-30 can give your engine a margin of protection when things get hot and stressed. The other says that kind of advice can miss the bigger picture if you don't understand how modern oil actually behaves. So who's right? Because this isn't just an internet argument. It may influence how your engine handles wear, heat, and long-term reliability. And that matters a lot more than most drivers realize, because this isn't just about numbers on a bottle. It's about what happens when oil thins out under heat, when fuel starts mixing into it, when you're stuck in traffic on a 35-degree day, or when your turbo is spinning at over 100,000 RPM. That's where these decisions stop being theoretical and start becoming expensive. Here's the part that confuses people. Both sides can sound right depending on which problem they're trying to solve. Manufacturers often recommend thinner oils like 5W-30 because they improve fuel efficiency, flow quickly at startup, and help meet emission standards. On paper, that makes perfect sense. Faster flow means quicker protection when you first start the engine, and over millions of vehicles, even a small efficiency gain matters. But here's where the debate begins. Because once that oil is inside a real engine, one that sees heat cycles, short trips, maybe a bit of fuel dilution, the question changes. It's no longer just about how the oil starts, it's about how it holds up. On one side, you've got the traditional mechanic perspective. Decades of teardown experience, looking at engines that have run for 200,000, 300,000 kilometers. The thinking is simple. A slightly thicker oil can maintain a stronger film between metal parts when things get hot. That extra margin may reduce wear over time, especially in engines that aren't brand new anymore. On the other side, you've got the oil analysis and engineering crowd. They'll tell you viscosity alone doesn't tell the whole story. Additive packages, base oil quality, high temperature stability, those factors can matter just as much, sometimes more. A well-formulated 0W-20 might outperform a mediocre 5W-30 in certain conditions. So before picking a side, you need to understand what 5W-30 actually means. Most people assume it just means thicker, but that's only part of the picture. The 5W refers to how the oil flows when it's cold. I think early morning starts. The 30 refers to its viscosity at operating temperature, once the engine is fully warmed up. Here's a simple way to picture it. Imagine pouring water versus syrup. When it's cold, both oils need to flow quickly to reach critical parts of the engine. That's the first number. But once everything heats up, the oil needs to maintain a protective layer between moving metal surfaces. That's the second number. And this is important because engines don't fail at startup nearly as often as they wear down slowly over time under heat and load. The real question isn't whether an oil starts thin or thick, it's what happens after heat, fuel dilution, and mechanical stress get done with it. Because oil doesn't stay the same, it changes. Take fuel dilution, for example. In modern direct injection engines, a small amount of fuel can mix with the oil. That fuel acts like a solvent. It thins the oil out. So if you start with a very thin oil, and it gets even thinner over time, you can end up below the ideal protection range. That's not speculation. That's something oil analysis labs have observed in certain engines. Not all, but enough to make it worth paying attention. And here's where it gets interesting. A slightly thicker oil like 5W-30 may start out with a bit more viscosity headroom. So even if it thins out slightly over time, it may still remain within a protective range under certain conditions. Now, that doesn't mean thicker is always better, because there's a trade-off. Thicker oil can flow more slowly during cold starts, especially in very cold climates. And that initial flow is critical, because most engine wear occurs during startup. So now you've got a balancing act. Cold start protection versus high temperature stability. This is why so many high mileage owners report something curious. They switch to 5W-30 and suddenly the engine sounds quieter. Less ticking, less mechanical noise. That doesn't automatically mean it's fixing something, but it does suggest the oil film may be slightly thicker under load. You'll hear this, especially from people driving older engines or engines that see heavy use. Towing, long idling, hot climates, stop and go traffic. Conditions where oil is under more stress. But here's the flip side, and this is where the more technical argument comes in. Not all 5W-30 oils are equal, and not all 0W-20 oils are weak. Modern oil formulations are incredibly advanced. Additives can reduce wear, control deposits, and maintain viscosity under stress. High-quality base oils can resist breakdown far better than older formulations. So if someone says, just go thicker, they may be missing the fact that oil chemistry plays a huge role. A high-quality, manufacturer-approved oil often performs very differently than a generic one, even if the viscosity label looks similar. According to oil analysis trends and manufacturer testing logic, the real answer changes depending on how the engine is used. Engines that run hot, experience fuel dilution, or operate under heavy load may benefit from a slightly higher viscosity under certain conditions. but engines designed for tight tolerances and efficiency may perform best within the original spec. And here's something most people don't realize. The same engine can sometimes have different oil recommendations depending on where it's sold. In some markets, you'll see a wider range of acceptable viscosities listed in the manual. Why? Climate, fuel quality, emission standards, and driving patterns all play a role. What works in one region may not be optimal in another, so when you see experts disagreeing, it's not always because one is wrong. It's often because they're looking at different scenarios. So let's break this down in a way that actually helps you. If you're driving a newer vehicle, still under warranty in a moderate climate, and you're following normal maintenance intervals, the factory recommendation is usually the safest choice. That's what the engine was validated with, and it keeps you aligned with manufacturer requirements. If you're in a hot climate, doing a lot of short trips, or driving a turbocharged engine that sees high heat, then, under certain conditions, a move to 5W-30 may be worth considering, especially if it's within the manufacturer's allowed range. If your engine has higher mileage and you're noticing slight consumption or noise, a slightly thicker oil may help maintain a more stable film. Not fix the issue, but potentially reduce its effects. If you live in a very cold environment where cold starts to dominate your driving, thinner oil still has a clear advantage. Flow matters there, sometimes more than thickness. And if your engine has a known issue, like excessive fuel dilution or design-related wear, changing viscosity alone isn't going to solve the root problem. It may help manage it, but it's not a cure. So before you change anything, here are 3 things you should check this week. First, look at your owner's manual, not just the main spec, but any alternate viscosity charts. Second, think honestly about how you drive. Short trips, long highway runs, extreme heat, cold starts. Third, check your oil condition, smell for fuel, watch for consumption, and pay attention to how the engine sounds over time. Because once you understand those factors, the debate stops being confusing and starts becoming useful. I know this topic gets people fired up because once you realize the answer depends on the engine, the climate, and how you drive. Simple advice, stop sounding so simple. If you've tried different oil weights and noticed a real difference, share your experience below. I'm curious what's actually happening out there in the real world. And if this made you rethink something, pass it along to someone who's still trying to figure it out. There's a lot more to this conversation, and we'll keep breaking it down.